Hi, and welcome everyone to this episode of Senior Living. Glad you could join us. We've got some great topics today, some fun things and some more serious things. It is midway through the month of August, heading into September and Labor Day and all of the great fun things that happen in the fall. In the meantime, be sure to take advantage of a couple of different health screening situations, health screening events that are coming up at the fire stations, both in Cornville and out on Goddard Road. There is a CASA volunteer presentation at the Camp Verde County Courthouse. And then, of course, farmers markets continue for a couple of more months yet. Cottonwood, Camp Verde, Cornville, Sedona. Take advantage of all the great fresh fruits and vegetables that are out there. And it is also time to start thinking about what you're going to fill your time with in the fall. And one of the things that we definitely like to see you take advantage of is our OLLI, Osher Lifelong Learning Center program through Yavapai College. And we are joined today again by Gail Groves. Thank you, Gail.
Hello, Pam.
We're at slightly early, but what I wanted to make sure is that our viewers had plenty of time to think about what they wanted to accomplish, what they wanted to take advantage of through the OLLI program. And there's a lot coming up. There were a lot of great sessions over the summer.
Yes,
and
there were.
Many more to come in the fall. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, the catalogs aren't even out yet, but this is the mock-up, the digital copy.
It's very cool and bright.
Nice for fall.
Yeah.
And as you can see, or perhaps not, it's September 30th is the beginning of the actual semester.
Okay.
And it goes through November 22nd. So registration will be open as soon as the catalogs hit the streets, as they say, and that should be at the end of this month.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping next week sometime. Mm-hmm. As soon as they get in your hands, you can call our offices, either Sedona or Clarkdale,
right,
and register online or on the phone with a credit card, or go into the offices and you can then use cash or check. There are over 110 learning groups and workshops offered, so this is going to be a big catalog.
Every session, this grows and grows.
It grows and grows, and this is the center index that's going to be in the new catalog. There are 4 pages.
Oh my goodness.
So everything from the usual understanding Medicare and aging gracefully, and Tai Chi and financial planning and everything you can imagine.
And as I recall, the facilitators for these sessions are quite educated in the topics that they're teaching or they're facilitating. So, for instance, will the Understanding Medicare program be kind of keeping up with what's going on with all the changes?
Hopefully.
It's a little hard to do when not everybody knows what's going on for sure yet.
But these are repeat workshops and learning groups. Many of the facilitators are coming back with their favorite topic, and so hopefully they've kept abreast of what the changes are.
Right.
Now there are a few early offerings, and the earliest offering is at the Cottonwood Library starting September 10th, and that is GIMP digital imagery. And I know, it's like digital images.
Okay.
And there are Tuesdays and Thursdays on consecutive weeks for 3 weeks in September. And of course, our Out to Lunch book club meets all through the summer, and it keeps going, but the new semester for it starts on the 13th of September. And then there are a couple of free offerings that are open to the public but that Ollie sponsors.
Okay.
And one is Arizona Humanities Council along Old Route 66.
Oh, that
Which-
would be fun.
Yes, would be really nostalgic.
Yeah.
And another one coming up in November would be Hubble Trading Post Artists in Residence Program, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And then at the Sedona Center in October is Conflict Resolution Day, a celebration. And our favorite Paul Friedman and others will be facilitating that, but that's free to the public. All the rest are under the usual membership fee schedule, and there's a little difference this time. You can take a basic membership is $30, used to be $35, now it's $30, and that's for a workshop only.
Okay.
And you're entitled to two workshops for that amount. Then the $55 one is for one learning group, which is the learning group is the one that's every week.
Throughout the entire session.
Yes.
Semester. Yeah.
And you can take one learning group and one workshop for free for $55. You can add on, but you may as well go up to the $75 membership fee, which is 5 learning groups and or workshops, any combination. And then the unlimited is $115.
So for a maximum of $115, you could keep yourself pretty doggone busy
As
this
long
fall.
as you can fit it all into your schedule.
That sounds about right. Well, what I'm kind of impressed with, what I've seen happen over the last couple of years, is the growth for Ollie. I think that it's always been very popular and positive and well received in our communities. The number of facilitators certainly seems to be growing. The number of topics that they would like to see covered also seems to be giving our residents, our community, an opportunity to get out there and experience more things, some variations in their lives.
And it is remarkable because the facilitators are all volunteers.
Right.
They don't get paid. In fact, I had a call the other day in the office, somebody from Indiana, a professor from Indiana who wanted to come and teach in our program. But I had to tell her there was no pay.
Right, right. Well, it might be a little late for this this fall term, but the other great thing about Ollie is if there's something that you're particularly interested and that you would like to see a class on, you could submit a proposal to be a facilitator for a specific class, and as they can fit it into the schedule and if it makes complete sense, that they are open to those kinds of opportunities. Gail, before we run out of time, there's the proposal form.
Yes, and the winter, we're taking proposals for the winter semester.
Okay.
And that'll start in January. So there's time for you to get this in for the winter if you have something you really love and want to share.
Perfect timing. Registration will start within the next week or so, by the end of August, certainly. Be sure and pay attention to, you get them in the mail. You can pick up the schedules at many, many different places.
Oh, there's one last thing. There is like a little open house. They're calling it the Taste of Ollie.
Okay.
It's at the Sedona campus on September 18th. And it's in room 34. And there you can get an idea of what Ollie is about. You can register. You can hear some of the facilitators present what they're going to be talking about.
Perfect opportunity. September 18th. But be watching before that. Just don't miss that open house. That's a great opportunity for everyone. Gail, thank you for coming in and sharing with us. And we're certainly glad to give our viewers a little bit of a heads up about what's going on. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come right back. And we're going to talk about another topic that is an old topic for Cottonwood. It's been gone for quite some time, and we're going to talk about it coming back. Stay tuned.
Did you know the average 6-room house collects up to 40 pounds of dust, dirt, and mites each year? Air duct cleaning not only makes the air you breathe healthier, it saves you money by allowing your heating and cooling systems to run more efficiently. Dryer vent cleaning also improves efficiency and safety. The oldest vent cleaning service in the Verde Valley, Brandywine Air Duct Cleaning, is your answer. Professional, quality service, and great attitude. Brandywine Air Duct Cleaning, 634-5149. Ask about senior discounts.
Welcome back to Senior Living. One of the things that I really recently realized was that the availability of adult daycare here in Cottonwood hasn't really existed for quite some time. And the adult care services based out of the Prescott area has recently acquired a facility in order to bring that back to Cottonwood. And it's not always something that we want to choose to do, but the availability of those kinds of services certainly makes life better for a lot of our senior citizens here in the Verde Valley. We want to welcome to our show the Executive Director of the Adult Care Services, Inc. out of Prescott, Yvonne Napolitano. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us, Pam.
We really appreciate your time. Like I say, I didn't really realize that it didn't even exist here in Cottonwood for the most part. There are plenty of great care homes and facilities that people can reside in and have things to do, but to just have a daily place to have somebody, to be around somebody, doesn't exist. So tell us a little bit about adult care services as a whole and how, what happens, what you guys accomplish.
Okay, great. Adult Care Services is the parent company to the Susan J. Ream Adult Day Center programs, one in Prescott and one in Prescott Valley, and to the Margaret T. Morris Center. And that's an assisted living community for people with Alzheimer's and other dementias, also in Prescott. And we also have My Care Partner non-medical in-home care. Our company started with adult day services, and formerly known as the Center Adult Daycare, the Center Adult Day Services, and our founding executive director, Susan Ream, who passed away in 2011, our organization decided to name our day centers in honor of her because she founded the day center program originally in Prescott back in 1982.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, a lot of progress since then.
Oh, absolutely. We have a long history. And with Adult Day Center programming, she had helped start a day center program here in Cottonwood that was later purchased by someone locally. And I'm sorry, his name slips my mind because I really wasn't part of that back in the late 1990s. And eventually that day center did close. From what we understand, there were close to 30 people a day utilizing those services.
Wow.
So since then, people have been calling us from the healthcare communities in the Cottonwood area as well as family members to see if we would be interested in bringing adult day services back to the Cottonwood area.
Right.
And we're very excited to finally be able to do that.
Well, it's something that everybody should be very excited about, because I know that the services that we have, the existing services, the senior center, for instance, the services that are available are more than very well utilized. So to have those additional services available is going to benefit the entire community. So adult daycare has been the specialty of your company for many, many, many years, and I'm sure you've seen some of the changes. What exactly does the adult daycare program offer to their participating members, the people that come every day?
Yes. We have medical monitoring. So we have a nurse right on site who will dispense medications if someone's on routine medications, or do light medical services if someone may need a bandage changed, or if they're not feeling well, we're able to monitor those symptoms versus just sending the person home right away. We have a social worker on staff who will provide support services to the person we're caring for as well as their caregiver. And we always say in adult day center programs that two people benefit, the person needing the care as well as the caregiver.
Right.
And we know caregivers 24/7, what that stress is like for them and how it impacts the family unit.
Right.
We have caregivers on staff who will assist with transfers, using the bathroom, assisting at mealtime. We have wonderful food. We'll serve a hot breakfast, a large hot lunch, like a supper meal, and then a light snack in the afternoon. We have an activities director with an activities team who will prepare a weekly calendar of all kinds of activities, exercise, music programs, arts and crafts, outings into the wonderful community here to your museums and parks. So it's a very well-rounded program, and we'll also be able to provide transportation, door-to-door services. And so it's very inclusive as to what the person will have during the day under our care.
Sounds like a little bit of something for those that still require quite a bit of assistance, all the way through to those that are still fairly ambulatory and fairly active and want to be active and get out and about, and there's that whole range of services.
Yes, and so adult day services is for people 18 years and older, so it's for adults who have illnesses and disabilities. And adult day services helps keep someone at home longer. A lot of families struggle with, does my loved one need to go to a care home or an assisted living, a nursing home? And this is just a step towards that. If you're not really sure, we can give it a try and provide the care that person needs. And again, I stress, giving the caregiver a break.
Right, right.
So we typically see people with memory loss. I would say 55% of our population right now does have some form of dementia, and we know that's nationally that's on the rise.
Right.
We all know someone with memory loss. We have people that have suffered strokes, traumatic brain injuries, people who have been born with developmental disabilities, people with multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease. So we're able to care for so many different people. And the nice thing about adult day services is that it's very much intergenerational. And not everyone is the same age. And it's amazing what you can learn from someone who's in their 20s, you know, versus someone in their 90s.
Right.
I think our oldest participant right now in our adult day services is 100 or 101. And our youngest person, I believe, is 20.
That's amazing.
So it's just so wonderful to bring all those ages together.
That is amazing. Yvonne, the exciting news is the facility here in Cottonwood.
Yes.
And we're going to take just a brief break. We're going to check in with our sponsors and come back and find out about the new adult day care services here in Cottonwood. Stay tuned.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Welcome back. We are exploring the definitions and all of the everything involved with adult care services. And one of the things that has just become official is the fact that what has been the Mingus Center will now become the new home of Cottonwood's Adult Care Center. Yvonne, it sounds like it's been a while in making this all happen.
Yes.
And give us just a little bit of the rundown on how you were able to make this happen.
Sure. We learned that the Mingus Center had been an available building for quite some time now, nearly 2 years, I believe. And we learned about it, I think, back in January. And it took a little doing because the building did go into auction, and Wells Fargo Bank purchased it. And so we had to buy it from Wells Fargo Bank, and they were great to work with. You know, the timing on these things always takes a little longer than you hope for. But we finally made it happen after all these months. And I knew when, it took me a couple of times to go through the building to recognize its potential.
That's what I was going to ask. How could you figure that out?
When I went through the building, it's got a lot of offices and a lot of bedrooms in it. And the first time I went through it, it was like a maze, and I was overwhelmed by the size of it and how it was set up. And the second time I went back in, I said, okay, I knew the bones of the building was just magnificent. And then I was able to see the plans on the paper and say, my gosh, this building is very much like our Prescott Susan J. Ream Adult Day Center building. And I was able to visualize the room setup. So now we've got our hard plans on paper. We're working with contractors right now to see who will get the job. And it's going to be absolutely beautiful once it's done.
It's a great building and a great location, there's no doubt. And I know that these kinds of things take some time. It became official the first of this month, or the first week or so of this month, that the building was officially you guys's, right?
Yes, right at the end of July there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's going to take several months to do the remodeling.
Yes.
And with that comes making sure that you meet certain criteria for your licensing.
Correct. So we know that we must follow the rules and regulations of the Arizona Department of Health Services under adult day health programs. And we're required to have a dining room area, living space, activity rooms, and enclosed outdoor space, so that when people are with us during the day, they have the option to go in and out of an enclosed area, and we'll have nice patio furniture. We have to have a shade structure. We have to have a nurse's office. We have to have a quiet room with a bed in it in case someone wants to lie down or needs some private medical assistance from the nurse. We have to have so many bathrooms per person. So it's one bathroom per 10 people. And we will have, I believe, 6 bathrooms to start. And I'm going to have the building licensed for 55 people per day. So there's all these different things we have to look at in order to design the building.
And meeting all of those criteria.
Yes.
So you're shooting for sometime right after the first of the year, early 2014.
Yes.
Why is this important to us now? What do people need to think about right now?
If people are interested in attending adult day services, again, we have to follow the rules and regulations. So we have to do an assessment on every person that we'd be caring for. We also have to get a medical assessment from their doctor, which is very simple. It's a medical release form that we fax over. The doctor will fill it out. It talks about the person's diagnoses, if they're on any medications, things we should be aware of, if they have any medical, any food restrictions, so that we can monitor their diet there. And so all that takes a little time. It just doesn't happen overnight. And so often what we see, Pam, is that people wait so long. And when they need the service because they're in a crisis, they need it right then and now.
Right.
And we can't do it right there, then and now. So this is wonderful timing for people to call us now. We can set up the assessment appointment, get all of the paperwork done. The only thing differently we would do is that we would have people enroll under our Prescott Valley Susan J. Ream Adult Day Center. They would still have the opportunity to start at the Prescott Valley Center. We do have transportation currently, round trip, from Cottonwood and Camp Verde to that day center on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if people for some reason feel they just can't do that, at least sign up now Because we will get you in our system, enrolled in the program, and then when we open, let's say my goal is to open January 3rd, we're going to pick up the phone call and say, hey, our license went through with the state. We're ready to start on January 3rd. We're ready for your loved one to be the first one in the door.
See, and I think that's what's going to be important, because 55 people sounds like a pretty large facility, but in reality, there's going to be a lot of interest, and maybe they won't be taking advantage every single day, but you're going to have people that that are going to fill it up pretty quickly. So I think it's important for people to understand. One more quick question that I have for you, and that is, I really want to make people aware that this option exists. Obviously, just like child daycare, there's a cost involved.
Correct.
And with child daycare, sometimes there is some assistance that's available. Is that true in the case of adult care?
Absolutely. We have currently, the people that we're serving are made up of different funding sources. Private fee pay is one. We have a contract with the Veterans Administration, and we are also going to be getting a contract for the Cottonwood Day Center as well. And currently we pick up vets from Cottonwood who go to our Prescott Valley Susan J. Ream Adult Day Center program.
That's great.
Yeah, so, and that takes a little doing too. So if you're a vet, please contact us now.
Right.
Because we'll get the paperwork rolling with the VA system as well as our own paperwork and get you enrolled in our program, and then just transfer everything over to the Cottonwood site when it opens. We have funding through NACOG right now, and
good, yeah.
they're very excited we're coming here, so we're hoping to secure some funding from NACOG. We have a contract with Altex. So if you're in Prescott, it's under Evercare, and I'm not sure what it's under in Cottonwood, if it's the same provider in Cottonwood, but your Altex program we have a contract with. So folks under the Access program. And we also have a contract with the Department of Developmental Disabilities. So if you're caring for an adult child with a developmental disability, or even a parent, sibling, that's also another contract. So we have all these wonderful funding sources. In addition to that, we have an incredible Director of Fund Development as part of Adult Care Services, Stephen Wisenhunt. And he is always raising money for scholarships, so that if someone falls through the cracks, we're able to support them if they can't afford to pay privately.
Lot of different options, options. Yvonne, before we run out of time, what else do you want our Cottonwood viewers to just pay attention to be aware of? I'm sure and I'm hopeful that you're going to keep us up to date on the progress and how things are going.
Absolutely.
We'll make sure that you know how things are coming along. All of the information for adult care, the Susan J. Ream Adult Care Services, has been on the screen. It is also available at my radio place, so be sure to get in touch if you have questions. If you don't know whether you're ready or not, that means you definitely need to call. You need to call and get the information.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to call. It's free to ask.
Exactly.
And that's where people make mistakes. They don't ask. So let us be a support to your loved one and to you as a caregiver.
Thank you very much for providing us with all this information. I am certainly sure that a huge part of our population, our viewers, are looking forward to this for one reason or another. There is the need, and now there will be an option for them.
Yes.
So
thanks
for joining us. I know you've got a lot going on right now. I appreciate you taking the time, and we appreciate our sponsors for helping us be on the air. So we're going to take a short break, and we will be back right after these messages.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. You know, I followed your character since the first episode. I'm a big fan, big fan.
Thank you.
And listen, your storyline, it makes for incredible TV drama. Thing is, your drug use is very adult content. Too adult for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, have a good one.
You're a nice lady.
Welcome back to Senior Living. We have a very fun event to talk about up next on our show. It is the 5th annual Sedona Wine Fest. I didn't get to go last year. I do remember the first one, and it started out wonderful, and it has just continued to develop and become more and more fun. Today joining us is Sandy Moriarty. Sandy, you are a board member, first of all, for the Wine Fest, and you're making sure this happens this year, right?
Oh, yes.
All
it's
right.
a huge job.
It is. Welcome, welcome. 5 years ago when it first started, I'm trying to think.
Were you really at the first one?
I really did go.
It was part of the community fair the first year.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And it was very small, and I'd been to the Camp Verde Pecan and Wine Festival. That was it. That's the only wine festival I'd been to when I started it. And I thought, well, okay, I know people at the wineries, and I know people at the city. There's licensing that's involved, because each winery has its own festival license to get for every festival they do.
It's now
So
at the airport, correct?
It's at the airport. It was at the airport then. We've always been at the airport.
That's right. It was.
We just moved for the first year we were on tarmac because it was small.
That's
you know,
what
it was
I
part
remembered.
of the community fair.
Yeah.
But as we grew, we had to move. We were only in that location the first year.
That's right.
And then we moved over a little bit. And then we moved across to where we are now at the Vista Point parking lot. And the tent, of course, I think that first tent was something like 30 by 70 or something, and now we're in each arm of the tent, it's an L shape, it's like 140, 180. Right. Well, there's a 40-foot L, 40 by 40 tent that the two come off of, and it's over 100 feet. So we're approaching 13,000 square feet of space under the tent.
That is so exciting, and I don't know the numbers of vendors, but it was very nice. The first year was great, but it was smaller. How many vendors are there now?
Well, we've got about 17 vendor booths, and we've got 16 wineries, and so we've got one of them is a double. Caduceus and Merkin are from the same outfit, so they share a table, but everybody else now has their own booth. And then we have the premium area that we added on last year for the first time.
Right.
And it wasn't very big last year, but this year we've expanded it because we did sell out.
I remember it being sold out long before the
It was
night
sold
of the...
out. Well, it wasn't. I wouldn't say long before, but you know, people when they came last year and they couldn't get into buy a ticket for the premium area, well, they're buying online early this year. They started early, and that's what we've been selling mostly is premium tickets online because they know they may not be able to get in at the door.
Good.
So.
Well, what I'm seeing is so many things. As always, the wineries are going to be there. There's going to be restaurants that'll have food.
We have four food vendors. And including the Cottonwood Fired Cafe, their Andiamo Pizza operation is going to be there this year. I'm so excited about that.
Cottonwood Fire Cafe is that little tiny one, right?
Yes, but they have they have a mobile unit. I think will be their first event that they're going to do with the mobile unit, and their pizza is so good. So I'm very excited to have them. We also have Ken's Creekside, Mesa Grill, and T. Carl's from Poco.
Okay.
Because Poco Diablo Resort is our official hotel sponsor.
That is
and
true.
Our major sponsor, the Sedona Pines, our presenting sponsor.
Sedona
Their logo
Pines.
is on the glass,
right?
This is on both glasses.
This is the premium glass that you get when you purchase your admission, and this is
the regular glass.
The regular one.
And they're both very. I can tell you, I use that wine glass every night at my house. It's a great glass.
That works
well.
So
we're very excited to have all those people involved.
What else is going on during the Wine Fest?
Well, I do want to mention that this is the first year. I will tell you some of the other things that are going on, but this is the first year that we are going to have a winery that makes mead Do you know what mead is?
No.
It's honey wine. It was made before beer was made. I mean, it's one of the oldest brewed beverages that there is, and we're going to have the only Arizona meadery.
I didn't even know there was
No,
one.
listen, I didn't know they were here either, but they called a couple of weeks ago and started describing what they had, and I was about ready to tell her we had about as many wineries as we could handle, and then she started describing her product, and I said, oh, I'd really like to have that included. So I'm excited. I've never tasted it, but it's honey wine, and they have a number of different products. So that's really exciting.
You'll get your chance this year to taste it.
Yes, I will.
All right.
So then we're also this year, in addition to expanding the premium area a lot, it's going to be much bigger with both indoor and outdoor seating.
Right.
And covered, both umbrellas and shaded seating. We're going to have an education tent for the first time this year with little mini seminars in it on 4 a day. That's new.
That's excellent.
And we've got our music this year. We're having 4 different groups, 4 trios, 2 each day. And then our, I mentioned the food vendors. And then we're also having on Saturday night a spoken word event in the tent.
That's very new and exciting.
Yes. So that's the Red Earth Theater Company is doing Crushes and Bouquets. And they're going to be talking, they're going to have, little excerpts from poems and from books and from all plays and all kinds of things, movies talking about wine. So
that will be fun.
It's going to be interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a juried art show.
A juried art show is back this year. We did that for the first time also last year.
Right.
Very successful. So again, we're expanding that one. And so bigger and better than ever, and a larger area. And our sponsor for that area is Sterling Financial and Pinnacle Capital Mortgage. So
very, very awesome. I realized I needed to September 27th through the 29th.
No, it's actually the 28th. We were hoping to do a Friday night event, but we couldn't quite get to it this year. We're hoping to next year.
Okay. So 28th and 29th,
right.
Saturday and Sunday,
11 to 5.
Now, a VIP pass gets you in for both days, am I correct?
No.
No, it's per day.
You have to buy them per day separately.
Per day, okay.
We haven't gotten to the 2-day pass yet. Maybe next year we'll do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, start making notes for next year.
Yeah, we already have made that one.
Okay. Sandy, what else do you want? This is, like I say, I went the first year. I went to help set up not the second year anyway. I've been a couple of times, not to enjoy myself. And one of these years I am going to make it as a guest. But what else do you want our viewers to keep in mind as they get ready to purchase their tickets right now? Purchase your VIP tickets.
You need to go online and buy your tickets ahead of time. That would be good. We will, of course, we'll be selling. We sell a lot of tickets at the door.
Right.
But there's 2 different lines, and if you buy ahead, so you just come and we just have your name and check you in. So it may be a little easier than going and giving cash or credit card on the day of. So, it's just going to be a great time. I mean, you can see we've got music, we've got art, we've got food, the premium area. We have Sphinx Date Ranch coming to be the dessert vendor in the premium area, and they'll also have a booth out on the floor.
Perfect.
Yeah. So going to
food,
be a lot of fun.
Music, art, wine, honey wine.
Honey wine. And education.
And education.
Yes. We're going to have some very interesting educational pieces. So
perfect.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
September 28th and 29th. The website has been on the screen, SedonaWinefest.com. You can purchase your tickets. There's a link online and a phone number to get a hold of someone if you have questions, that type of thing. Just make sure you do it. Get out there and enjoy it. Sandy, thank you for joining us on our show today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And we will take a short break, and we're going to go check out one of the activities, one of the big events that's happening here in Cottonwood. Stay tuned.
Did you know the average 6-room house collects up to 40 pounds of dust, dirt, and mites each year? Air duct cleaning not only makes the air you breathe healthier, it saves you money by allowing your heating and cooling systems to run more efficiently. Dryer vent cleaning also improves efficiency and safety. The oldest vent cleaning service in the Verde Valley, Brandywine Air Duct Cleaning, is your answer. Professional, quality service, and great attitude. Brandywine Air Duct Cleaning, 634-5149. Ask about senior discounts.
Habitat for Humanity is an organization that has been in communities throughout the country and in fact throughout the world, providing opportunities for community members that need some help to be able to afford housing. Nothing is given to anyone, but the opportunity is there for people to apply for assistance. The motto of Habitat for Humanity is a hand up, not a handout. An organization was formed about 10 years ago to assist with efforts for affordable housing all over the country, and they've worked a lot with Habitat for Humanity. Today, we have a team from Bike and Build right here in Cottonwood helping with this, which is the first new build in 3 years for our Verde Valley Habitat for Humanity. Thanks for joining us. This is Abby Prescott and Phil Green. They are members of Bike and Build. You guys have, this is day 60 of day 60 of a 77-day trip from Maine that'll end up in Santa Barbara.
Yep.
Abby, tell us a little bit about the trip so far.
Well, there's 27 of us. We started on June 19th in Portland, Maine, and we've made our way, it's been about 3,200 miles, I want to say, till here, and we're loving it. It's a lot of fun.
Excellent. Yeah. How many projects have you worked on?
We have a total this summer of about 16 build sites.
Wow.
This is our 13th or so, I want to say. So we're making our way down the line of all of our build sites. This has definitely been one of our favorites, I think.
Well, I would hope so.
I know,
I was
right?
going to say, other than Cottonwood, what's one of the highlights?
I think I personally really enjoyed Amarillo, Texas.
Ah.
It was just kind of a cool, we don't get to work together as a whole group too often. We get split up between different housing projects, so to be able to work together as one group is always really cool, especially because we're divvied up on the road.
And if I remember correct, there's a route tracker on the bikeandbuild.org website that allows you to follow these guys as they're making these and the other 5 teams that you.
There's 8 total.
8 total.
Yeah.
The other 7 teams. You can track them all across the country, and it seems like you've only had 2 off days in the whole summer.
Yeah, we've got our next one coming up at the Grand Canyon. So
all right.
Super excited for that.
The other day when they came into town, they had ridden all the way from Payson, Arizona to here in Cottonwood. That was about 70 some odd miles, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they're finishing up the cleanup on this house here in Cottonwood, and they'll be headed out in the morning to head up north. What's your next stop?
Flagstaff. We're going to Flagstaff.
Build in Flagstaff?
Yeah, we pull in and then we spend the night, and then the next day we'll build.
Excellent. And then on up to the Grand Canyon?
Yep.
Well, is there a build there as well?
Nope, we're actually going to have our first camping.
All right.
We've got a day off to explore. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
And then out of Arizona and over to California, I take it.
Yeah, our last state line that we're crossing. We've crossed
18?
18 state lines so far.
That's
so it's
just amazing.
a little unreal.
Yeah,
but
amazing.
Yeah.
Not only do they get the exercise and do they get to help build, but to participate, each one of the members, the team members, helps raise money. The organization as a whole has raised over $4 million.
Yep.
And your team this year was pretty phenomenal as well.
Yeah, we raised just about $154,000.
And most of it goes back into the housing projects. There's grants and there's different ways that affordable housing can be subsidized, and just programming and keeping you guys on the road.
Exactly.
All
yeah.
right. We want to thank you for Habitat, for our community. I think it's a great opportunity. Hope you guys get a chance to make it back to the Verde Valley someday.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We hope to see many more houses. Habitat for Humanity has a couple different projects in the works, and we will be watching to see what happens. Remember, you can check on these guys at bikeandbuild.org, and you can go to myradioplace.com for more events that are affiliated with Habitat for Humanity. We'll join you back in the studios right after these messages. Welcome back. Great bunch of young people out there, huh? One of the events that's been a standard in our community for many, many years is, of course, the Fort Verde Days celebration. Last year, before the Fort Verde Day celebration, we were very, very fortunate to get to talk to the ladies that put on the quilt show, and it was so much fun and it was so much work. Camp Verde Promotions and the Fort Verde Days celebration, they continue to make everything better and more fun and lots more activities. So the one thing that they've added to this year's program is called a Creator Fair. And in the future, this is going to alternate years with the quilters, which makes it that much more exciting for all of us who attend. And today, to tell us a little bit more about the Creator Fair and how it all happened is Kathy Hellman, the manager at the Camp Verde Library. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time to be here. I'm a little bit excited. I've been, getting bits and pieces, and I know right now it's early. You're still looking for people to participate in the Creators Fair. But before we talk more about that, what is the Creators Fair?
Well, the idea came out of library journals that library staff read, and the Maker Movement. I don't know if you're familiar with the Maker Movement, but it's a national and actually international movement. It takes the do-it-yourself spirit of Americans and gives them an opportunity to showcase what they do, especially areas that they're maybe expert in or that they've invented or created some special technique that they can share with others. They can learn from each other. They interact with each other. They interact with visitors who are interested in what they're doing. So it's kind of a combination of an old-fashioned county fair and a crafters, creator, event. The big difference is it's participatory for the visitors, the people who are coming to see what's going on. They get to participate with the creators and even try some things. So it's not just going around and buying or seeing, but actually participating. So it's a very interactive type fair. The idea was born last year when Jeanette and the Quilters group was putting together the quilt show. They said, why don't we do something for the library every other year? they intended it as a fundraiser, in all honesty. But we then in the library were reading journals about all these maker movements going on in maker spaces in libraries, and knowing that we're building a new library, we wanted a creative space in our library where we can continue throughout the year to offer places for people to share what they're passionate about with other people, or their techniques, or their whatever they're expert in. So there's not a venue for that, you know, often, especially in a small scale.
Oh, sure.
So we decided to make it a creator fair instead, and I actually wrote a grant, and it was funded by the state library, the library archives and public records. The state library funded the grant. It's called LSTA grant, and so we've got a little money to spend to kick it off this year. So, yeah,
exciting.
It's really cool.
That
Yeah,
is very cool.
So the state library is supporting our efforts. We want to be out in the community, not just in the library. We want to show our support for what's going on in the community, for startup businesses, for people out there, creators. The creative people are the ones who keep things going.
Right,
You know, especially when times are hard. They're the ones out there coming up with new ideas and new ways of succeeding and making, well, the whole wine industry, just like you were talking about. That's a very creative answer to some of the problems the state has faced economically.
Right.
And so the library's goal is to show that we are very supportive of all that, that people who are into that kind of thing can find support in the library. We will do what we can to bring resources to them to help further their ability to succeed in whatever ventures they're involved in. So that's kind of the backstory for why we're doing it.
That's pretty exciting, and I've often compared the fact that our community as a whole is one great big giant resource. Library, if you want to call it, museum, library, whatever. And so to bring the library out into the community, and then that'll create the opposite effect of bringing the community back into the library. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Pretty great idea.
And you know, libraries are doing this kind of thing all over the country. So it's not new really, but it's new for the Verde Valley.
Right.
And it's a very exciting thing to be involved in. So
absolutely.
And so yeah, we're looking for creators. We're looking for people who have unique talents or interests that they'd like to come and show or share, or especially interactive type things. We have a few already committed. So.
I've been hearing a little bit about from beer crafters to quilters, from model car painters to high-tech performers. That was kind of the definition that I had originally gotten. And there's still time to become involved, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
The information is going to be on the Camp Verde Promotions website. There will be a tab for Creator Fair. It's not populated much with information yet, but in the next couple of weeks, people will be able to go there and download the forms that we need them to fill out to participate, and find out all the information that they need to know to participate. So yeah, it's free. We will take donations from those attending if they so choose, but we didn't want to limit people. My husband and I, in researching this, we went to a maker fair in Las Vegas, and it was the first one that Las Vegas had done.
Oh, wow.
And they charged $10 for each of us to get in, and we just thought that was a little steep, and we didn't want to limit people if they couldn't afford it. I mean, especially people with children. You know, if they've got 4 or 5 kids, $10 each, that's expensive.
Right.
So we wanted to keep it free so it's accessible, but people can give donations if they want, but there's no pressure.
Well, we know that because this is also very, very cyclical. The Library Endowment Group has supported the library in a lot of different fundraising efforts, and they feel so passionately about it because the library feels passionately about the community. So it's really important. We've got an opportunity to be involved, not only, like you say, from a viewer's standpoint, but to be able to participate is really a lot of fun. Do you have any idea about how many people have signed up to be involved so far?
So far we have about a half a dozen, and if I look at the whole list, about 20, so there's another 12, 15 maybes that we're firming up. So we've got, we think maybe around a couple dozen spaces. So
Okay.
there's not a lot of space, but so people will need to
Right.
be quick if they want a
Exactly.
space. Yeah.
And of course, Fort Verde Days is October 12th and 13th. Yeah. And the Creator Fair is going to actually be physically located where?
It's going to be in the gym.
Okay.
Right there near, you know, all the
By the gazebo, yeah.
In the gym and in the space outside the gym around the gazebo after the parade is over, and so that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a lot of space.
There is a lot for our community to give in terms of creativity, I'm quite sure.
yeah.
So we encourage all of you. It's a huge community event. On top of it, it's a great showcase for some of our creative people to get out there and be involved, because the Fort Verde Days is just huge.
Yeah, and it encompasses, we have somebody with a 3D printer coming to demonstrate, just for the fun of it, you know, how do 3D printers work? Well, we have one coming, so you'll be able to see that. Not participatory there probably, but at least to see it. And then some of the people will be performers, so it's not just crafts and arts, it's performance, it's whatever. I mean, if you have an idea, just ask me.
Right.
And I'll be glad to talk to you about it, so.
We've all got some level of creativity, so think about it. I'm sure there's something out there that you can take advantage of. What else is going on with the library right now? Well, before we run out of time, we'll talk about what you're up to. You've been here at the Camp Verde Library for just about a year, you said. That's pretty exciting in and of itself. What do you have planned?
Well, our biggest event coming up is our demolition groundbreaking on September 12th. We're actually going to demolish the old Marshall's building, which is next door to the library, and that's going to be our groundbreaking. So we're going to start construction. No buildings are going to be going up probably until the first of the year, but the ground's going to be the preparation for, you know, the site will start. So yeah, that's really a very exciting event. And,
absolutely.
So that's our biggest thing right now. Yeah.
A lot
Very
going
exciting.
on, a lot of very exciting stuff.
Yeah, we've got, we'll have the plans for people to look at the layout of the library, the drawings and the renditions done by Joel Westerfeld. And we also have J.A. Jantz coming on September 22nd, coming to Camp Verde. She's coming to several places in the Verde Valley.
In the Verde Valley, I see, yeah.
So that's another exciting thing for us, yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, lots of stuff going on.
Sounds like it. The contact information has been on the screen. Kathy, thank you so much for filling us in on this. This will be the first of many future creator fairs, so get involved. It'll be fun. We appreciate you taking your time to join us. We appreciate you taking your time to be with us here on Senior Living, and we'll see you next time.